All right, what is going on, everybody? So we are doing some weekly updates from the past few, or from this last week. Actually, had a lot of fun this week. Been developing new indicators and having some fun with it. So let's go over some trade ideas that happened this past week and some results that we may have gotten. This is obviously not financial advice, and it is not anything else other than educational purposes. So let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to share just this one. Sweet. All right, so we'll start right here on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was not trending for a lot of the week. It didn't get any real calls, but we did get one that happened on Thursday. There's the indicator for it. Came all the way up. Nice little one-to-one on that one. And I actually got back in on Bitcoin just recently. Got this call out earlier today, about 11. Let it come back down, test the value. So I'm actually in this trade now. I do not think that it will come all the way up to TP. So once I get about to 70,000, I'll probably go ahead and move my stop loss up. I'm expecting to kind of pick back up and where it left off. But overall, I'm pretty happy with that. Ethereum had a ton of call outs this past week. It was trending all week as it was, which is awesome. Obviously, it makes me feel better about life as it goes through. Had some great call outs here. Took off one-to-one there, another one-to-one there. And there was plenty of other opportunities on the 30-minute time frame. Obviously, this was Friday. This was news. You would not have taken this one. Honestly, I wouldn't have taken that one either because it already, if you look right here, the market structure as it was, those were areas I was having a hard time breaking. So if it wasn't lower than that, I wouldn't take anything. But still overall good. Gold. Gold was not trending all week, so it was not actually on our call list, but I did get into a sell on it. Caught this fantastic move down. And then obviously we had it pump up and then it sold off again on Friday from NFP. Silver, didn't take anything on silver. It did have some good call outs. It was trending, but it was in a downtrend as well. So it came all the way up, made these highs, and it's been trending downward. Came all the way back down, and now obviously it's actually trending back up again on our higher time frame, so like the 1 to 4 hour. And still we have a sell, so we're waiting for a signal to come back out and see what happens at the first of the week. US30 was not on my list. There were some ideas that came out. These were areas of resistance or support, that we had. So I'd be excited to see what happens for next week for it. But currently it's not trending, so it's not on our list. NASDAQ was trending. There was a signal on it last week, but obviously we didn't take that one. Come down to oil. So oil was a fantastic one. Sold off on Monday, and then it continued to climb back up. We got a call out here. I missed that one. It was 3 a.m. I was in bed. This one we actually got called out at 10:30 a.m. on Friday, so I set a pending for it. So the way this actually ended up working is got a signal here for this one. I knew it was a big drop down from this high point, so I set a pending order coming back up to test this previous area, which it did, and then it dropped back down. So this is actually a trade I'm currently in profit for it. So I'll be interested to see if it comes back and fills this nice little gap that's created right here. So we'll check out Euro USD. So Euro USD was trending all week. I didn't take any trades on it, but it was trending, so we can go back and check and see what happened. So on Monday, it was trending upward. Got a nice little signal here, but these were good signals, but I didn't take any of them. This would have been the one that I'd taken right here, but it was also at 6:30 at night, so not an ideal for it. GBP USD was a trending pair as well. It's still trending. We just got this. It's just kind of ranging in this area right now. That 128 area, it just is gnarly for it to break through. So it came up and tested it. So now it's back down to a resistance area. So we'll see what happens if it comes back up. I believe next week is going to be just a gangbuster week, though. So we'll see what happens. NZD USD. So on this one, this was a trade that came out. Played around for a little bit, came out, boop, tap TP for a nice little one-to-one. That TP was set because it tested this area previously. So it obviously sold back off, picked up some liquidity, and headed back up again, obviously in preparation for NFP that happened on Friday. AUD USD, same thing, fantastic little signal. Popped right up here, almost to our TP, so this was a break even for me. Came all the way up. Did not quite hit the TP, so when it came back down in here, take me out of break even. USD CAD was not trending at the first part of the week, but there were obviously some really strong signals that came out for it. And I think what's interesting is when you get these types of signals on this particular indicator, is you can take them and then ride them up, but normally what ends up happening is it comes back down to retest the area and then comes back up. If you get a long bar like this, they'll come back down and retest that middle ground and then they'll head back up. But both of these would have been great trades to take. I just happened to be in other trades, so I did not take them. USD JPY didn't take anything there this week. It was trading the first part of the week. So like last week had some good call outs. This week it was not, kind of felt out of trend. Once again, I think a lot of this had to do more or less with NFP. So when we look back at GBP, JBP, so the pound versus yen, this was a great little area right here. This was a signal that came out. As you can tell, it came up, came back down, retest that same area, popped up, hit TP1. GBP NZD, nothing there for the week. So it wasn't on the list, not currently on the list anyway. GBP CAD. So this one was trending from last week. And here's a great little idea. So this was a signal that was taken, or not taken from me, but it was a signal that was given. It was at 7 p.m. at night. So it hung out, came up, almost tapped that TP area or that stop loss area, just, pivots. It came back all the way up, smashed TP1. You could have stayed in it longer if you wanted to, but I wouldn't have, because from here it fell out of trend for a little bit and it came back into trend, which is cool to see that works. That's one reason I like the colored background, is it tells you where the overall trend is at. GBP AUD, as it looks through, there was nothing trending there, so there's no signals on that one for the indicator. Here last week, this pair was trending up, but then as it started to fall out of trend, it obviously didn't get anything there. It's just a super deep pullback. So we'll see what happens for next week if it decides to trend up, back down. Euro pound. So here would be a great example. Signals that were given, like this was a good example of it came down, tested right back up, and then fell back down again. This one was one that I marked up. I had it come out at 6:30 in the morning. Obviously, what I did, same thing, is I set this pending order that would have been here, fell right back down for a nice little 1-to-1, smashed it. Same thing here, boom, boom, came all the way back down, retest up. So this would have been fantastic. I did not catch it. Obviously, it's at 2:30 in the morning. I am not awake most days. Some days I am, not most days though. We got to be honest with it. But still, this indicator just seems to be really popping off. Euro JPY. So this was on Monday. Happened to give a call out right here. Came back up, retested that same zone, popped off 1-to-1. And you guys will notice I do a ton of 1-to-1 stuff, and it's just a preference. These indicators are fantastic for these short scalps. I mean, this is the 30-minute time frame, so I wouldn't say it's a short scalp, but it just was not. It has a lot of different aspects of that move. So I like 1-to-1s. I don't try to hit for that. It's either I aim for a 1-to-1 or I'll aim for market structure based on where it's at. So like here, this was a good indication. It came down, consolidated, and then it pulled back up, but it made this as a higher low, or a new lower high, excuse me. So this would have been the current higher high, and then this would have been the new lower high. Ooh, man, not talking. And then there's obviously the sell-off that happens, and that's out of trend for so far this week, but we'll see what happens. Euro NZD. So this is a good example of things to look for, which it currently was trending down, but if you scroll back to the left, you'll see that this is a very low area for this. So it trending downward from there, this is a new low for it. So I think what's going to happen is next week we get a little bit of a pullback, and then we'll get an uptrend headed back into it. But this is a good example of why you always check it. Like here's a signal given, but look how close it is to that new lower low. So not enough of a pullback to take. So if it stays in this trend right here, where the background's going to be colored, which means on the higher time frame, the 1 and 4 hour, it's trending downward, we could expect to see this as a deeper pullback, and then it give us a signal to head down again. But we'll wait and see what happens next week. EuroCAD. So last week, not this past week, but the week before that, the week of the 27th, I had some great little indicators for some nice little scalps on this one. It fell out of trend, shot up, and then it went back into trend. So we need to pull back down and give us a proper entry as it was. Euro AUD did not trend this week, except for on Monday. It trended for a little bit, and then it came back up, took it out of the downward trend it was in. So nothing taken there. Euro CHF, nothing. AUD JPY was trending at the first part of the week here, and then it sold off on Tuesday, which is fine. And so there's obviously some news that happened that pulled it back up some. So we'll see what happens for the next week. We'll see if the EMAs catch up with it. AUD CAD, so the week previous, had some small little scalps inside of it. Didn't take anything from there. No signals were given this week, so it did not meet all the criteria that we needed for it. AUD NZD, nothing. CAD JPY. So on Monday, this was given, and this would have been a negative trade. So that would have been a loss right there. That was Monday. It was given like 8:30 at night, which normally you wouldn't trade this on Monday. And as you can tell, it fell out of trend by the next day. But still, it's always good to show that the week before, that would have been a win. This would have been a loss. So it's just understanding your risk management factor as it comes through. Now that we've got this, let's see what happens. Let's continue on. Chef JPY. So this was a signal that came out on Tuesday at 10:30 in the morning, New York time. It ranged for a little bit and then popped off. This is a really big stop loss, and you don't have to take it. But if I'm trading 1-to-1, I like to put the low. I like to put the stop loss below the most recent low area. So this would have been it. But also, it's not so much about where the stop loss is as much as how your risk management is. So, but anyway, so it ranged for a little bit, popped off, and then Friday, right at the market close, it gave a signal. Not going to take that one though. That makes sense to do it. So let's look at NZD JPY. So right here, last week we had some signals that happened as it pulled up, sold off on Tuesday, pulled back up again. So these would not have been good signals to take though, because of the fact it came all the way back down to here. Pull this back here. Came all the way back down to here, and then pulled up again we're close to where these recent highs were. So these signals happening this close to the highs, they would have had to been super short scalps. But if you would have taken them, then it would have been a loss. So, but I didn't mark them up. They were not on my list to take. Just taking anything with the yen right now is not my favorite. NZD CAD. These were obviously signals I didn't take because at 11:30 at night, at 4:30 a.m., and that was 8 a.m. No way I'm taking anything right before news like that. That just wouldn't have been smart. So nothing taken, nothing lost. And NZD Swiss franc. No signals were given on it. So anyway, the fun thing about this is this was a new indicator that I was testing out. So I was real happy with it just as it was. So very, very happy at the end of the day. But yeah, so that was the week in a nutshell. Overall, I was pretty happy with it. We'll see what happens with this Bitcoin trade as it's now currently sold off and now it's ranging. I'm hoping for a push up and a retest because it's the weekend. So weekends for the boys, weekends for the crypto. As it was, Ethereum had some signals that came out too. But anyway, so overall, not upset with this week. Did take some small losses, couple break evens, but the cool thing about this indicator, like these are the pairs that I trade, and I have an alarm set for it. So when the indicator goes off, I get an alert. I get alerted. I analyze, and then I make a decision if I'm getting in the market or not. And then I set my TP. I set my stop loss. I'll set an alarm after it hits into the area, and yeah. So overall, I was pretty happy with this week. Not upset with the results at all. So anyway, that's it. You guys have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys on the gram.